and welcome to the Astrology in You podcast. I'm Kerry Hourigan. Today we're talking about the full moon in Scorpio plus the lunar eclipse, Pluto, Scorpio's ruler at 0 degrees Aquarius. The full moon is opposing a Taurus Stellium, Mercury's retrograding and more. But firstly, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the original land carers, the Awabakal people, where this podcast is recorded. I give my deepest respect to elders past, present and emerging. Just a reminder before we start, you can get a free mini astrology report that includes a very detailed birth chart from Astrology in You, and I created a video to show you how to create a birth chart with transits at astro.com, and both of these are very handy in any astrology that you're following. And you can find the podcast on all the usual platforms, including YouTube. So there's links in the show notes below. The full moon in Scorpio will be happening at 14 degrees and 57 minutes, and it's following the lunar eclipse at 14 degrees and 52 minutes on the 5th or 6th of May, depending on your location. And to see where this specifically relates to you, look to the house or life area this will be transiting in your own chart. Full moons bring things to a culmination or completion stage for release, and they also shed light in that area of life or house it is transiting. During full moons, we can become more aware of where we feel emotionally blocked, and this suggests issues are not yet completely dealt with, so we can finally address them and bring them to a closure and finally let them go. Karma can also be cleared. The karma has been misrepresented, misinterpreted and misunderstood. Karma is not a tit-for-tat process. It is basically unfinished business that we can address to let it go, because this holds us back. This can be even from past lives, and we can feel a constant in our lives that still exist. As an example, and it's from a personal experience that I have, there is an underlying feeling of being shut down or not able to speak up. It's something that I really have to constantly work on. Eclipses permanently change things. The lunar eclipse in Scorpio will send us deep within to our very core to address these issues we need to look at. This can be a very intense experience, and Scorpio is the sign of intensity because it is also the sign of transformation, and intensity must be present for change to occur. We always use the analogy of the caterpillar to the butterfly. If you've ever seen it, it is an incredibly intense process. But when we reach that point and we realize the illusion, we can find the truth behind it. Lunar eclipses are said to be a pivot taking us by surprise. They are a portal where we connect with other realms and dimensions. And this is something that I find myself looking at more and more. I'm understanding it more and more. This portal has no filter, and therefore things move in and out between realms more easily. Lunar eclipses coincide with old issues that dwell in the undercurrents of our life, bringing them to the surface, forcing us to deal with them. These issues may have been ignored or suppressed in the past, and they build up intensity, but the good news is eclipses can also be the launching point to activate a new reality. The lunar eclipse on the Scorpio-Taurus axis continue the healing and can accelerate more healing from the solar eclipse that we had on the 20th of April in Aries. Scorpio is the sign of great depth and intensity, where we are called to go very deep within to address things we need to heal. This healing is happening both for the human family and on an individual level. We can let go of what no longer serves us to accelerate our evolution. Lunar eclipses send us inward, as does Scorpio and Taurus. The South Node is also in Scorpio in a wide conjunction to the full moon. The South Node represents the path we have walked, and to keep us moving into our future, we follow the direction of the North Node in Taurus. Taurus relates to our self-sufficiency, the land, agriculture, resources, and it teaches us that we are ourselves a resource, or we are our own resource. It relates to property and finances and our own self-sufficiency, which relates to our self-esteem. It also is connected to property and finances and building strong foundations that support the new. Uranus is also in Taurus, relating to futuristic ways. Uranus also accelerates change, breaking us free from limitations of limiting structure, which is Saturn. Individuation, freedom, liberation, and deconditioning all relate to Uranus breaking down the ways of the old to make way for the new. This placement coincides with the future changes in the areas of finance, land, agriculture, community, and technology. New forms of money, for example, digital money, which we are hearing more about, our food such as community gardens, and extreme weather events will continue because everything is changing. We'll just have to monitor things as we go. Most likely we will see more rebellion and protest due to the restrictions from authorities and more hacking and disruptions to the financial markets. Mercury is retrograding in Taurus, and retrograding planets give us time to review what has come before so we can go over it and discard what no longer serves us and keep what does. Mercury relates to the function of adaptation, communications, learning, extended family, and diversity. Taurus likes to keep things basic and simple and not to rush into things. This placement will assist in taking your time to go over and review issues relating to the life area or house that this is transiting in your own chart. You can know you have more flexibility, exploring the many options available to you, and you can take your time to ensure that you create strong and stable foundations. Mercury will be retrograding from April 21st to May 14th. This is an incredibly powerful event. This powerful eclipse and full moon in Scorpio opposes a Taurus Stellium, and this consists of Uranus, the Sun, North Node, and Mercury, as I just mentioned. We can take time to contemplate on a future direction. As mentioned, Uranus is futuristic and we must decondition from old ways, while the retrograding of Mercury will allow us to review our situations of finance, our overall health and well-being, self-sufficiency, and appreciation of what we have in our world. It is time to build solid foundations for our future on an individual and collective level. Scorpio is the sign of secrets exposing the hidden. So we'll see more corruption of the rich and powerful that will expose them even more, and we're hearing this on a daily basis now. Even on a medical level, Scorpio relates to the world of the very tiny, getting right to the core of things, just as its ruler Pluto rules such things as viruses and microbiology. Transformation applies to many things, and we must have something to transform from. Therefore, betrayal, loss, endings are all experiences that can be crippling. We can obsess over them, reliving painful memories. The full moon in Scorpio sends us deep into these experiences to find the good, leading to our own empowerment, because that's what they're for, because they are very rich learning experiences, to finally look at them and be able to let them go, and that transformation begins. If you are experiencing stressful emotions and you don't know how to deal with them and you don't know where to start, see the work of Byron Katie. And Katie has a free process that will help liberate you from your suffering, and you'll find the link below. Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, is still squaring the lunar nodes at 0 degrees Aquarius. And this square aspect comes with difficulty and tension. I mean, it's as if there couldn't be any more. But we have to go through these transformational phases. The power of Pluto changing signs correlates with very significant events, as Pluto takes 248 years to complete a cycle. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius was 1777. It was the time of the American Revolutionary War under George Washington and the height of the French Revolution. As an example, Pluto has changed signs in the years of 1914, 1939 and 2008, coinciding with very significant world events. Pluto completely destroys to change things for the better. It is the planet of death and rebirth. The old ways will and continue to crumble, making way for the new, for more equality, community and technology, just to mention a few. In Australia, there is much talk about a referendum called The Voice, where we are seeing our Indigenous brothers and sisters be part of our constitution, which is so long overdue, and moving us more towards a community and equality. It's absolutely disgraceful that it's taken this long, but we're getting there. We must always be aware that there will be those who will want to express this energy in destructive ways. Therefore, we must always be aware of the shadow of all these placements. Eclipses change things permanently, and for those who are more fixed in the old ways, they will struggle the most. So it's up to us to help them through this transition. Medically, Scorpio rules the sex organs, elimination mechanisms, and the disease of cancer. So what can we do to nurture ourselves through this? We want to do the best for ourselves. So identifying the betrayals, not just from others, but also look at the betrayals in your beliefs and take time to investigate, to have the truth revealed to you. And you can use the process of Byron Katie to do this. These opportunities bring growth. They are blessings in disguise. They really are. And because of these, we have to learn forgiveness, to let go of those who have hurt you, and include self-forgiveness. All forgiveness is just letting go. That's all it is. It doesn't say that what someone has done to you or what you have done to someone else is acceptable. It's just letting it go. Simple as that. It's realizing that everybody comes from their own perspective, and we don't know how someone else looks at things. We can only know how we look at things. And the process of Byron Katie will help enormously with this. Be in and with nature as much as you can, because nature stabilizes and quietens our minds. Meditate daily. Be in your body. Feel your body and appreciate your body. It's a temple. And dwell in your ideal world. Listen to your heart's intelligence. This is where you find your truth and meaning. We connect through our hearts to every living thing, to each other, the cosmos, and the original source from where we all come from. Be in the higher emotions of hope, gratitude, joy, relief, appreciation. Find anything to be grateful for and stay there as much as you can. We feel lighter in these emotions. And if we feel lighter, our frequency increases, our vibration increases. And this attracts more of the same, because it also does it on the other side. If you're in fear, resentment, anger, guilt, shame, that also attracts more of the same. And know, all is well, all will be well, and all shall be well. Thank you for taking the time to visit. I hope you have an extraordinary full moon and eclipse in Scorpio. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.